the cardinal law about solutions to challenges that we go through in everyday life, whether we are individuals, whether we are corporate institutions, whether we are governments, whether we are companies. The cardinal rule is to diagnose the problem correctly. Half of that problem will have been solved when it is correctly diagnosed. And I say this because once you know in, say, a consultant clinic what ails your body, it is easy to treat it. But before it is known, it's a quagmire and a nightmare, and it can always get worse. Let me narrow down my analogy to why I have decided to release this short video. The crisis facing our country today is not a new crisis. The challenges we are going through as a nation are not new challenges. Presidents before have gone through challenges. We have seen even the colonial government facing challenges both at home in the United Kingdom and in their colonies in the Commonwealth. But it was always wiser for the king, the queen, to diagnose the problem of the colonies and the problem of the government in the United Kingdom before they could procure solutions. The problem of Kenya today must be diagnosed correctly. What we are seeing is symptoms of a deep-seated problems that is not a single problem that only the president can solve. It's not a problem that only government can solve. It's not a problem that only churches, religious societies and Islamic societies can solve. This is not a problem of the masses alone. This is not a problem of government and citizens. It's not a problem of government and institutions. It's not a problem of institutions and service delivery. It's not a situation where communities are against each other. No. The correct diagnosis of the problems we go through, which have been cumulative over time, will define us as a nation. And these problems, which we must defeat, I am confident we shall, must also be pulled together. Of course, when you are looking for solutions, there are always two kinds of people. We have the radical solution givers and we have the moderate solution givers. Case at point, when Kenya was agitating for freedom, the country was at a brink. There was a radical society in Mau Mau, and there was a radical society in other communities that were agitating by force to have freedom. But there were some moderate people, the one that we call constitutional group, that was led by Jomo Kenyatta, Ogiga Odinga, Tom Mboya, Mwai Kibaki, James Gishuru, Masida Muriro, Leonard Gala, all these heroes of Kenya who came before us, diagnosed the problem correctly, and they formed themselves into giving a solution to the nascent country, Kenya. We have freedom today, and we have solution today for the problem of colonialism, which we defeated and crushed because we pulled together. That time, it was not a Kikuyu problem. It was not a Luo problem. It was not a Kalenjin problem. It was not a Kano problem, and it was not a Kadu problem. It wasn't a government problem and a people problem. It was a problem of Kenya, which needed politicians, which needed civil societies, which needed trade unions, which needed religious organizations, which needed virtually everybody to come together. Why we must be very categorical about finding a solution is why I have given this video. We will start blame games. Some people will say the problem is a Kikuyu uprising. Other people will say it is a failure of the president and his government. Other people will say it is a problem of Kalenjin's toxic language while handling challenges that we are going through. Others will say it's a problem of Luos having joined a government in the broad-based apparatus. It is a problem of young people called Gen Zs. It's a problem of the old Gen X and millennials who have settled in life and who cannot feel the problems of the young. There will be all manner and all sort of claims, and in every claim there is a truth. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Kenyans, my compatriots and comrades, we can find a solution together, and we must pull together. But methinks, as Shakespeare would say, methinks the President of the Republic of Kenya and his apparatus must lead the way to the solution. The president must not fall the traps of the radicals around him who are pointing fingers at a community level. The president must shun away the voices who are whispering in his ears that this problem is being caused by Kikuyus who want power. Mr. President, you know very well through your well-established network of intelligence that this cannot be a Kikuyu problem. While there could be a problem within Kikuyus, it cannot be entirely that this is a Kikuyu problem, Mr. President, because you have the Constitution and you have the sword. The Constitution to uphold the law and the sword to guard property and lives. Mr. President, what is the problem facing your government? What is a problem facing our country? We are at a crossroads, at a moment where we must pull together. And the last thing, Mr. President, that must be done is to blame each other. The worst thing that should be done, Mr. President, is to threaten each other. The worst thing that we can do is to speak strongly and heavy-worded violent statements against each other. And while people may attempt to do so, it must not be the President William Ruto. Mr. President, majority of people who are not speaking and majority of the people who have not joined the foray of blaming each other would want a country of peace, would want a solution, would want a table where solutions are given and commitments observed. Rise up, Mr. President, against a cabal of radicals around you, cabals of radicals in security sector, a cabal of radicals in parliament, a cabal of radicals in your community, and a cabal of radicals on the other side. Rise above them. You are today the father of nation by the dint of the 2022 swearing in that handed over the country to you. Today, history records that it was the belligerence of what was the name of this president? The Sudan president, Omar Bashir. He was the sitting president when the country went down. We know in Somalia, it was Siad Mohammed Barre that was in charge when the country went down. It was Papa Doc the Junior in Haiti who was the president when the country went down. It was Assad, what was his name? Assad something, in Syria that was the president when it went down. Mr. President, it was Saddam Hussein who was the president when it went down. Majority of the people who will read history today and in the future may not know the details. While those presidents knew the details of the conflict that engulfed them, Kenyans will never care of the realities of the time if our country goes down. Mr. President, let us pull together and build a Kenya that we shall bequeath our generation.